Ghost and Ghouls. It's the one, the only JT Ripper, and I'm here
with Todd of Thunder.
And you're listening to a horrible podcast. And on today's episode, we're bringing you the new review of M3gan.
M3gan.
Our first review of 2023, and there's many more to come, so follow me. I'm just kidding.
We just went and saw this movie yesterday, and we have a damn good review for you.
Damn good. Anyway, we just got watching our first horror movie of 2023, like I said.
Yep.
Well, M3gan, it follows a little girl named Katie after losing her two parents in a horrible car accident. Her aunt, unfortunately, is forced to take care of her. It feels like that. But her aunt also happens to be a toy maker, and she gives her this prototype doll that she's been working on that she wants to push as a new toy because the toy company she's with right now seems to be making these reject Furbies.
Yep. And she relies on AI, artificial intelligence, to create this doll, very lifelike.
Yeah, M3gan is an AI robot or toy that's programmed to protect her by any means necessary at all costs.
Physically and emotionally.
Yeah.
Emotional damage!
Emotional. Anyway, so I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was kind of a slow burn, honestly. But then again, it being the first, it has a story to tell. So you have to give the background stories to these characters to develop emotional attachments with them. Excuse me. And it does a very good job at that.
Yeah, that was one of my things that I thought this movie was going to be slow-paced. But I didn't feel that way. I felt like it kept at a pretty good, steady pace. I think that it did a good job of building up to what you knew eventually was going to happen. There wasn't really any surprises in this film. I was just interested on how that, they were going to go from A to B to C, and whether or not, I was willing to go on that ride with them. And I was. Like I said, nothing is going to shock you about this film. If you've seen the trailer to it and you think that it's about, it's about a doll, robot, whatever you want to call it, protecting a little girl, kind of like the last Child's Play 2018, 2019, whenever it came out, then you're right. The question is, are you going to go on that particular journey with them? And I paid my money, so I was willing to. And honestly, I didn't feel like it was a slow burn. I thought it kept a steady pace. It went from A to B to Z.
I mean, I like this movie, don't get me wrong. I honestly felt like it was a slow burn. I thought it was a good movie. It took a lot from the 2019 Child's Play remake. I mean, it doesn't do anything to reinvent the wheel, but it does do a lot better than Child's Play remake.
Yeah, I think it used the technology better. Like, it explained better how this was happening, why the artificial intelligence was as smart as it was, why, it was more.
You saw the development of the doll.
Yeah, right. It was more technical to it. It was, the old Child's Play is just a voodoo curse, and then, the Child's Play remake is basically just a very mad employee that purposely
programs an evil doll.
Yeah, the difference is that in the Child's Play, that one employee that got mad or whatever had purposely done that.
Yeah.
He only did that to one, so that one particular one went to the little boy.
Yeah.
The rest of that kind of doll was perfectly fine. In M3gan, there's only one M3gan, and that goes to this little girl. So there was nothing to compare her to. She was the only one. I thought that was a good little twist to it. Like, she was the only one.
She's the prototype.
She's the prototype, which, if you're going to make a film like this, like you said earlier, if you're going to make a film like this, this is the first film. You want to get kind of the kinks and the bugs out of the way. You want to get the explanation out of the way. And definitely, if there is a sequel, they don't have to explain this too much in detail because we already know what goes into making this thing.
Right. So I've been doing a little research, but so M3gan there's actually a rated R cut. They cut this movie down to make it PG-13.
Yeah. Understandably, a movie like this probably will catch some of the younger teenager that's not quite old enough to see it.
Right.
They'll probably catch their eye and want to go see it because the trailer, kind of leans towards that, like, this is a horror movie, but it's kind of cool too. Let's go see it.
Yeah. It done a very good job at being a first. M3gan looks good. The doll has a very creepy aesthetic to it. Like, it definitely captures that creepiness that you have in the first Child's Play.
Yeah.
It definitely not what the remake was able to do. That doll looked fucking stupid. M3gan looks creepy. It has that realism, but at the same time, it has this doll look and feel, and it makes it creepy.
Yeah.
Because at points you kind of do forget it's a doll, and then at points you remember, oh, it's a doll.
Yeah, it's kind of weird watching this doll go through emotions that that a human would go through, but like she's like so advanced, she immediately picks up on not only doing what she's programmed to do, but she was programmed to never stop learning. That's the thing about it.
Yeah, that's where she fucked up.
Yeah, like, people are going to say, well, how can't you just shut this thing down? Well, yeah, but
it got smarter.
Yeah, it gets smarter. It is designed to
constantly grow
and constantly learn more than even we can teach it.
Yeah.
So you got
smarter than us.
Yeah, so you not only do you have the computer information downloaded into her, not only do you have all this, stuff into her, she's learning human emotions.
Yeah.
But she is a robot, so she's not.
She doesn't display them.
Yeah, she doesn't display them, or she can't. She doesn't difference between the two. Like, to her, if you're a bad person and I kill you, that's perfectly fine because you're a bad person.
Yeah.
To the human, we know that we can't kill a bad person even though it's a bad person.
Yeah,
even if we want to.
She's justified in her actions.
Yeah, she's
in her mind.
She's very she has that, she doesn't have that thing that tells her right from wrong.
Yeah, she doesn't have a conscience.
She just, it's very literal with her type of deal.
Now, if you're going to this movie and you are expecting a gore score, you're going to be highly disappointed.
Yeah, no gore.
The body count is at 5, and technically, one of those she didn't kill. She was going to kill, but, the kid ran out in front of the car and got hit.
Yeah, she, I guess you can still call it that because she caused the death.
Yeah, she was about to kill the kid.
Yeah, which, I appreciate a kill like that or two because you can't pinpoint that she did it because it literally could be placed as an accident. So that's kind of cool,
Yeah, no, just because I didn't fall in love with this movie, don't get me wrong, I like this movie, and I think it has a lot of potential. You had a dog, the neighbor's dog, that got killed, which actually wasn't the dog's fault because they technically went in the woman's yard. But anyway, that's just me being the dog lover. You had her boss and her boss's assistant get killed. And then the neighbor. The neighbor got a freaking pressure washer to. What in the Sam hell are you doing?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Fucking idiot. He's like doing a fucking home improvement over here. Hey, Al, what you doing over there?
No,
pressure washer to the face, with some deadly chemicals. Poison. Ed Harley.
That's all these Hollywood people want is pausing.
Ed Harley. But I want to see the rated R version because I want to see if there was more kills that they cut out, or
yeah, I'm thinking that it was probably extended,
maybe more brutal.
Probably extended scenes, more blood, more guts.
Yeah,
definitely. The sword. What is it? It's a paper cutter.
Yeah. Your big paper cutters that has like the big handle on it. You broke one of those
I'm
off.
sure that they have a pretty good, decent gore scene with that, or at least bloody scene with that.
Right. It's pretty good on suspense. It's pretty good thriller wise. It's very good lighting in it to where the eyes kind of glow in the dark without glowing. To give that creepy effect.
It's a really good shot movie. Like you said, the music in it, the score, everything fits in it. Everything's perfect in it.
The little girl in this movie is a phenomenal actress. She did a fucking fantastic job.
Yeah, she did a really good job of going through the emotions that you would think that a little child would go through
after losing their parents.
Because not every person is going to be like feel sorry for me. Some people will actually act out because of it, and
she was able to capture both of those emotions. Like at first she felt like really bad for her. She was like very shy and timid to herself, and then when she started lashing out, like you knew why she was lashing out.
Yeah.
Because, she really hadn't gotten over her parents' death or hadn't had a chance to try to.
And as a parent, even if you're a guardian, even if you're a fucking dog owner, that if you give your child or your dog or whatever a toy and they play with it for a while and it becomes their favorite thing and then you try to take it away, they get mad.
Yeah.
They get mad, and it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, parents do that all the time. They put a iPod in front of a kid, and then the kid spends all the time on the iPod, and then it's time to take the iPod away, and they don't like that shit.
And I think that's where this movie did an amazing job at showing the problems of modern day technology with parents and how it creates the parent for the child. Like technology becomes the parent for the child. And that's a problem because when it's time to detach and actually face real world emotions, you can't.
Yeah, and they do a really good job in this movie. There are characters in this film that go to the aunt and say, well, what are you doing? Like this is cool. Like this M3gan thing's cool, but what are you doing to establish an emotional connection with her? What are you doing? Do you think this is healthy? Do you think this? And she's kind of putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But then she kind of clicks with her, and it kind of dawns on her that, holy shit, I've gave her this, and now I can't really take it back without being some type of villain here, you know?
Right.
Or it seems that way to the kid. And I think they do a pretty good job of, you know, showing that, hey, I wasn't planning on any of this, but I came up with a quick solution.
And it was wrong.
And it worked for a little bit, but then I realized it wasn't the long-term solution.
Right.
And that's what a lot of parents do, you know. If you want your kid to sit in front of a, you know, when we were growing up, it was a television. Or,
right.
You know, when we were growing up, we could go outside and play. No matter what age we were, we could go outside and play. It was no danger. It was none of that horse shit. We came inside, long as we came inside before the fucking sun went down or right as it went down or whatever. Or, you know, we would watch television or whatever. It's not like that these days. Parents are much more, they're either overprotected to the child doesn't know real world issues, or they put a screen on an iPod or a phone in front of the kid to where they still don't know real world, you know, problems.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you have an artificial intelligence doll like this, basically,
it becomes the parent.
Yeah, because all the emotion that this little girl should be sharing with her aunt, she's sharing with Megan.
Right.
And it's almost like, okay, well, Megan's here for me. You're not really there. Like, the emotional attachment, I think, is the key to this that you didn't have.
Right. And they did a very good job at displaying this. Like, even Megan, towards the end of the movie, was like, you keep working on your job, I'll keep being the parent, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
And she's telling this to the aunt, and then the aunt's like, what the fuck? No, this is not how, you're not, you know, you're not the parent, you're not real.
Yeah.
You know.
I think, even though there's not really a moment where the aunt says, holy shit, I've been doing this the whole wrong, there are moments that leads her up to think to herself, fuck, what have I done? Fuck, what have I done? But she didn't need to verbally say that to anybody, you know. It was enough of everybody around her telling her this and her observation of
her fucking up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and, you know, like you said when we watched it, like, we didn't really get closure with the aunt and the niece
that was
coming
like,
together.
That's what kind of really... spoiler warning, if you don't want to listen to the spoiler of the ending of this movie, I suggest you probably skip about a minute or two ahead now.
Yeah. But there was no closure. Like, there wasn't a big embrace. There wasn't a hug or anything like that. But you have to think, like, it was like a split second that both of these characters made a decision that this Megan thing was out of control.
True.
So I think, you know, it like I said, this definitely had potential to do a sequel or whatever.
Yeah.
If they bring back the same characters, I think you would see much more of a bond between them. But I think
I would hope so.
Since it happened so spontaneous, you know, I guess they did so many cliche things in the movie. They wanted to kind of stay away from a little bit, and you always kind of get that embrace and that hug and that closure at the end of a film. And maybe they were like, you know what? You know, this isn't one of those moments. Like, they realize this isn't the right thing. They realize Megan is, you know, totally berserk right now. Yeah. But, you know, maybe they, through their actions, you don't need to see them embrace or whatever. But it's always been a pleasure to the eye to see a problem be resolved, and, you know, that's kind of the kicker of a movie. That's why I think that this has potential for sequels.
I normally I don't like cliche endings, but I felt like this was the one that needed it. Because of how well the acting and emotion was all the way up to it. And I didn't feel like, she really does love her like a daughter.
Well, there was no point in the movie where she came to the realization and the little girl came to the realization and they embraced. There was none of that in the film.
Right.
The little girl was kind of defiant up until the end to keep you guessing on what she would choose.
Which was a good thing, because there was that moment where I thought that she might choose M3gan over her aunt because of how our aunt is very disconnected emotionally from her. So the fact that we didn't get an embrace at the end, because we didn't get closure from the characters. That's a good point. Little news on M3gan. It drew $45 million this fucking weekend.
Really?
Yeah.
The last I heard, it was 27.
45.
Yeah.
Checked it. There will be a part 2.
I hope so, because
this did better than Smile and something else.
I think it has potential. It definitely has potential to be a long-running franchise, because
if they play their cards right, you can get a good, solid trilogy out of this.
Oh, definitely. I think that M3gan can become the modern-day Chucky. I really do. For the modern-day audience, they can, it can be one of those films where every Halloween or every time around this time, every year, maybe it could be that first of the month movie, come out in February or January or whatever.
Yeah.
And, be looking forward to,
Yeah, because a lot of horror movies that come out in January seem to be cursed to be fucked for some reason.
Yeah, there's like a few months right there where, honestly, all the good ones that come out between like now and maybe April, or most of them are like just straight to streaming services or straight to DVD or whatever.
Right.
There's not really a whole lot of like theatrical cuts that that make a splash at the box office.
Right. But M3gan has done that this weekend.
Well, good. I'm always a cheerleader for a film that I enjoy doing well.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we live in a time where a lot of people give up on shit. Netflix is a horrible offender of this. They'll come out with a season and, they'll just put an end to it right there. It doesn't matter. It's like they have a set number, and if it doesn't reach that, it doesn't care about the people who did like it, which, honestly, if it was any other company, like a low-budget company, and they did like just the numbers that the first season did, they would go, we did pretty good. Netflix looks at it and goes, nah, it's not enough.
Yeah, well, I think M3gan was supposed to go straight to streaming services. That's why it was rated R to begin with. But luckily, it went straight to theaters, and it's done very well. It's kicking ass in the box office, which is great. I think this has the potential in part 2 to be better than part 1. It will definitely need to be it needs to be rated R in part 2 to make a better, bolder statement. That's really my only gripe about this, is that I wanted a little bit more better kills. Like, she's so smart and she's able to hack into so many things. There's so many creative ways you can get with killing people and still not knowing that it was M3gan to, be behind the killing. And I think that in part 2, that's going to be a vital point to set up the reveal of M3gan, is that, she's able to get into these electronics. And spoiler, at the end of it, she's able to take over the Alexa of the house. I can't remember what.
Yeah, they called it something different.
They called it something different, but her aunt's so tech savvy, she has everything set up, through like voice commands and everything like that.
Yeah, it's very 2022 technology driven type of movie without beating you over the head that, hey, this movie's too smart for you or whatever. Right. Like, it's not that movie. It's not going to insult your intelligence. It's not. The cool thing about the movie is it doesn't really push any agenda. It doesn't push any politics like some movies that come out today. It's a pretty straightforward story. It's a he said, it was a little girl who lost their parents. The AI was created for her. The AI goes crazy and does bad things.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
Yeah, they don't push no narratives, no political agenda. They keep it a horror movie with a great story.
Yeah. Like you said, maybe the rated R version, if they'll probably come out with like an extended cut on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever.
Yeah.
Probably a little bit more gory and stuff, but for what they did, the PG-13 is not bad. It's a good date movie.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think it's a good way to kick off 2023.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a gore in a couple months, but we'll go over that in a horrible conversation.
Yeah, and another thing, I think that this movie, and it's been proven by what you just said, what did you say, 45 million? Or?
In first week.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just this week alone.
That proves to you right there that this movie is more than just a streaming service movie. If I would have watched this movie on a streaming service, I would have been like, I think that could have worked in the theater.
Yeah, definitely.
Like everything, it's a good movie. It's a good put together movie. It has potential to have sequels and be better and make even more money. And I hope so. It's just so rare to get horror franchises and horror trilogies and stuff like that. And if we do get them, it's just rehash shit that we've already seen. As much as we love Halloween, we're still going off of a movie 45 fucking years ago.
Right.
So and I know we keep, saying that M3gan is very, very similar to Child's Play, but let's modernize it up a little bit here.
Modernize it, yeah.
And
it does that. It definitely, it's better at character development than the 2019 version.
Yeah, and make no mistake about it, we're not shitting on that movie. We actually,
I love the remake, Child's Play.
Yeah,
I
we
love
actually
the fact that
defend it very much.
That he cared about Andy. He wasn't just trying to kill Andy, and that's the part about M3gan that was good. She legitimately cared for M3gan, and it has so much potential, and I'm glad that it's doing well, and hopefully we see, the part 2 is, better than the first one, because I really think it's going to be. We're going to go into our final rating for M3gan. What do you give it?
Well, I'm still sticking to what I said after we watched it. I gave it a 7.5.
I was a little bit more harsh on this movie only because it is something that you've seen before. It doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it does make improvements to the wheel. I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's a lot higher than I originally gave it, but I've had time to think about it. Like I said, my biggest gripe was, by the end of the movie, you really didn't get that, warm, embracing, moment that you're looking for. That was really my only big gripe in that, and I wanted a little bit, maybe more kills or a little bit. I'm not asking for a gore fest, but I'm asking for a little bit more inventive kills because she's so smart that she controls everything. I'm gonna fucking kill you. She can control everything around her.
I'm looking up news.
That
No, I'm not.
she can control, and I want them to get creative with that aspect of it. But it's a great movie. It's worth going to see in theaters. It's definitely worth buying, and I guarantee you, the sequel.
Did you give
will
it a
be
rating?
better. Yeah, 6.5.
6.5. 6.5 from the Ripper,
Yeah.
and 7.5 from the Thunder.
Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in and listening to this episode.
Buy the shirt.
Buy the shirt. There's no shirts yet.
I have a shirt.
We have a shirt, but there's
We
no
have
shirt.
stickers.
Yeah, little stickers.
They're still stickers. They're pretty cool. It's the Michael Myers pumpkin knife logo.
Oh yeah, those are okay. Those are the.
And we also
big
have
enough.
little
QR codes.
Jason the
Yeah,
Final Friday, the final chapter. Jason.
Yeah, that one didn't turn out so well. It was very.
No,
cheap.
those were very, very smaller, even than the Halloween ones. But hey,
we're working on it.
they
working
still
on
look
the
cool.
kinks.
You know, they put it on your fucking car dash.
Yeah, we'll work on it. But until next time,
I'm Todd of Thunder saying toodaloo.
I'm JT Ripper saying get fucked, stay fucked, cunts. Damn good show. We love you.